Hi everyone, so today in reading we're going to be talking about how we can use learning progressions to lift the level of our work. So you might be wondering what a learning progression is. So I want to remind you that there are a lot of tools out there to help us become better readers. Reading is a big skill made up of a lot of smaller skills. One tool that we can use to break down those smaller skills is our learning progressions. The learning progressions show what students should be working to try to do in each grade in the different reading skills. So today our teaching point is that you can study your own reading and set goals for yourself using a learning progression. I want to remind you that we're trying to be better at a particular skill, such as envisioning or noticing character traits. It helps to use a tool like the learning progressions and set goals to lift our level of work. To do this, we're going to study our own thinking and studying ways to make that thinking even better. So I'm going to model how to do this with envisioning. So this is one small part of a learning progression. And so again, as I said before, you can see the different grades. So we have grade 2, grade 3, and grade 4. So these are your skills based on grade level. So if you envision and predict like a grade 2 student, then you would do this skill. If you're in grade 3, then you might be envisioning and predicting like this. And this is kind of our goal for grade 4. This is how you want to be envisioning and predicting by the 4th grade. So I'm going to model how to do this by rereading part of our read aloud book, The Tiger Rising. And I'm going to practice this skill of envisioning or predicting. So I'm going to go back to this spot where I made a really strong mental movie. And then I made a jot about it. So here's the part of the book. I know what contagious means, Sistine said. She looked at his legs, and then she did something truly astounding. She closed her eyes and reached out her left hand and placed it on top of Rob's right leg. Please let me catch it, she whispered. You won't, said Rob, surprised at her hand, how small it was and how warm it made him think for a minute of his mother's hand, tiny and soft. He stopped that thought. It ain't contagious, he told her. Please let me catch it, Sistine whispered again, ignoring him, keeping her hand on his leg. Please let me catch it so I won't have to go back to school. It ain't a disease, said Rob. It's just me. Shut up, Sistine said. She sat up very straight. Her lips moved. The other kids shouted and screamed and laughed and called to each other, but the two of them sat apart from it all, as if their seat was an island in the sea of sweat and exhaust. So then here's what I wrote. This was my little stop and jot. I picture Sistine rubbing her hand up and down Rob's blotchy leg. She's wishing almost like she's praying. Please, please let me get this rash too. I picture Rob jerking back and then Sistine touches his leg, thinking, whoa, what is she doing? So now let's see if you agree with how I assess myself. Well, I pictured what characters were doing, like Sistine is rubbing Rob's leg. I added something from my own envisioning. I thought it looked like she was praying while she was rubbing his leg, and that wasn't in the text, but it's based on the text. And I picture Rob reacting and jerking back. Thing is, I didn't write about the setting. The setting is mentioned in the learning progressions for grade 3 and 4, so I could add that in to lift the level of my work. I could add, I picture the crowded bus, kids messing around like usual, but Rob and Sistine acting like they're in their own little world. So here is my note, and I added in the part about the setting. So going back to the progression in grade 4, I added in more details to lift the level of my work. So before it was maybe like grade 3, but by adding in parts of the setting, I'm lifting the level of my work to more of a 4th grade level. So readers. Just as I use the learning progression to help me lift the level of my work and envisioning, you can too. But you can do this also when you think about character traits. So picking one part of the progression to focus on for yourself that you want to get better at. So when you go off today and before you read, you have a little assignment. You're going to go through a shortened version of the learning progressions because it is a pretty long document. And I'm going to give you just 3 to choose from, 3 skills. So you're going to read through them. You're going to decide which level you kind of fall at. If you're 2nd grade level, if you feel like you write that in a 3rd grade level, or if you think you're already writing that skill at a 4th grade level. And then you'll pick, and then you'll, on the last slide, you'll write a goal that you have that you want to work on. Actually, I can show you guys that really quick. So this is going to be the slide that's attached to this assignment. So you're going to read through the directions like I just said. You're going to go through the slides. And there's a little star in each one. I want you to move the star to where you think you are. If you think you're writing that skill at a grade 2 level, 3 or 4. And then you're going to do the last slide. So this little star here can move if you're not in present mode. And you're just going to plop it on where you think you are for retelling, summarizing, with synthesis, which was one of the last lessons we did. You're going to move this star for what you think you are at for analyzing perspective. So you're going to have to read through these and see which one you fall under. Was that 3? Oh, and I skipped the envisioning one. So this was the one I did, envisioning and predicting. So move the star to where you think you are for those 3 skills. And then at the end, you're just going to pick one of those skills to really focus on to write your goal, which one you want to really improve on. So that'll be your assignment for today. And when you do stop and jot in your notebook, you can start practicing getting better at that skill today, and continuing to work on lifting the level of your work.